gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news commentary. Do you remember the black undercover cop who got attacked by two white St. Louis police officers? Well, ladies and gentlemen, this justice system is a joke. We can. I'm gonna do another video on another case, but this criminal justice system to me is a complete joke. So these two white officers has been found not guilty of beating a black undercover cop. So this article comes from Fox 2 Now in St. Louis. It says the federal grand jury did not return a single guilty verdict Monday in the trial of three St. Louis police officers accused of beating an undercover detective during a 2017 protest downtown. St. Louis police officer Stephen Cote was found not guilty on all counts. Former officer Chris Myers was found not guilty on a civil rights charge. The jury did not reach a verdict on a charge of destruction of evidence. The jury also did not reach a verdict on a civil rights charge against former officer Dustin Boone. Detective Luther Hall was working undercover with partner during the 2017 Jason Stockley protest. They were documenting potential crimes when they got split up in the chaos on the night of Sunday, September 17. Hall said he encountered uniformed police at 14th and Olive Streets. Prosecutors allege Boone, Meyer, and Cote attacked and beat Hall after mistaking him for a protester. Hall was left with pinky-sized hole in his lip and required spinal fusion surgery in his neck. Jurors considered a recording of Hall's live stream feed of the beating along with text messages from Boone and Myers in which they indicated being part of the incident at 14th and Olive in downtown St. Louis. There was no photo or video evidence showing which officers actually struck him. Myers, Boone, and Cote was charged with depriving Hall of his civil rights. Meyer was also charged with destroying evidence by allegedly smashing Hall's phone. Cote was also charged with allegedly lying to the FBI. The vast majority of testimony against the defendants during the trial came from fellow police officers. Defense attorney said in spite of all of the photo and video evidence, nothing shows the three officers had a role in the beating. They said that the prosecution was based on speculations, lies, and innuendo. I'm going to stop you right there. See, y'all, this is why I said that black people in this country can't trust the criminal justice system. Because if they assaulted a black police officer, undercover officer, then they lied to the FBI, and then now they say they had no evidence that they were doing it. How many police officers that would do the same thing, or they would cover up their crimes? See, this is why we cannot trust the criminal justice system, y'all. And this is why, and again, I'm going to do another video after this, because there's another incident in North Carolina about the white mob. I'm going to get to that in my next video. But y'all, it shows you that white supremacy is right, and everybody else is non-existent. In other words, I'm trying to say is the terrorist wins again, and we just, as they say, justice is just us, and it's always happening. These police officers can get off, and again, let it be a black officer do the same thing. They would serving prison time right now. But it shows you how white officers can get off, and nothing can be done about it. Let me continue this article. It says, I don't think Mr. Hall wanted the wrong people convicted, said John Rogers, Cote's attorney. Former St. Louis officer Heather Taylor, who is a friend of Hall's and a former head of the Ethical Society of Police in St. Louis, watched nearly all of the testimony in the 2-week trial. The mixed verdicts were returned after more than 13 hours of deliberation, going back to Friday. Taylor was in disbelief after the verdicts from what was all of an all-white jury until an alternate black woman was seated last week as a substitute for another juror. Hall is black. 3 defendants are white. This is about black and white, Taylor said. This is the reality even if you are a police officer. Myers' attorney Scott Rosenblum said the text messages were taken out of context. He walked the jury through the photo and video evidence, which he said clearly showed frame by frame that these defendants did not be Hall. Two other former officers were already pleaded guilty in the case. Myers and Boone may be retired. Myers and Boone may be retried on the bench on the charges on which the jury did not reach verdicts, but there's been no comment yet from prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office, including the lead prosecutor, Assistant U.S. Attorney Kerry Constantine. Both candidates for St. Louis mayor, Tashara Jones and Carl Spencer, decried the verdict. I'm going to stop you right there again. Why are we surprised? You see, every time a white officer really beat up an unarmed black man or a fellow officer, they get off scot free. They're going to say, well, it was a misunderstanding, blah, 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 but they get off. They can get away with it. This is the same thing happening in America, that police officers been protected and people like us aren't. They don't care if you wear a badge or not. They still aren't protected. So I'm gonna read this tweet. It said Tashara O. Jones. I think she's one of the candidates that's running for mayor. She said, my statement on the trial of the officers responsible for beating officers Luther Hall. And this is what she says. She says, our justice system is broken. I'm gonna go ahead and read this, but I'm gonna respond to that in a second. Anyway, it says our justice system is broken and lacking the necessary trust to maintain safe communities. The beating of Luther Hall by his fellow officers underscores the need for leadership in City Hall that will push for a new direction in the police department within the Department of Public Safety. One of accountability, equal enforcement of policies and procedures, regardless of a victim's race, holding on police to the high standards, and a culture effectively reducing time and violence. As mayor, I will lead the charge to create a system that keeps people safe and holds and our officers accountable. The work of reforming our system will require leadership ready on day one. I'm holding officers Luther Hall and his family in my thoughts and prayers, and I hope that sooner rather than later we have a mayor and a city government that is trusted by community. Treasurer Tashara O. Jones. Treasurer Jones look forward to fostering healthy relationship between the Director of Public Safety, the circuit attorney, the police department, and the city or regional partners to bring about safer city and the city that holds in power who commit crimes accountable for their actions. I'm gonna respond to this when she says the criminal justice system is broken. No, it's not. It's all the criminal justice system is set up like that. So when she said, I know she's running for mayor, but she's a politician. She's talking about the criminal justice system broken. I don't believe none of what she says. She want to win the mayor, and so and then another one. There's another person. I think she's also running for mayor. Cara Spencer. She said Luther Hall did not get justice today. Would not get justice. I am outraged. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the Fox 2 Now article. Ladies and gentlemen, why are we surprised? And I told you, it's a continuation of police officers get away scot-free. They try to lie, try to scheme, try to say there's no evidence and whatever. And this brother right here, I'm gonna show you a picture of what this is the busted lip that these two white officers did to him. And they said there's no evidence of that. Y'all, it shows you that these white officers can lie, cheat, and get away with it, and they get a slap of the wrist. Now they don't, just like the situation with the Mike Brown situation with Officer Darren Wilson. He didn't get indicted either. This is a continuation of that in St. Louis. So you got so the federal grand jury did not indict all these officers that was involved in this. Another continuation of it, they can get away, lie, cheat, and steal get away with crime, with murder. And obviously, this is the same continuation of it. The only difference is that black guy was a cop. and still they don't care if he's a cop or not. This shows you that they can get away with murder. So y'all let me know what you think. I'm gonna tell you like this, that again, these people can run for mayor. They can talk about this criminal justice system is broken all they want to, but at the end of the day, it's still these white supremacist officers still wins. That's all it is. They still win and they can get away with it. Where a black police officer, they do the same thing. They can get it, go to jail. It's like that. But y'all let me know what you think. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.